And we think that is going a long way to at least water a lot. When you look at there are a number of people affected by they are also respected. Yes, so this is just an illustration which I wanted to give you. So when you look at it, the issue of status, the issue of age, the workplace, it doesn't matter. That's why within these institutions, the way we are going to make positive impacts in students, so maybe it's the quality assurance people who are being told that, or it's a student who is to play around fitting in every circumstance. That's how some people are likable in the institutions by everybody in the institution. And then you ask and wonder why. So that is the issue. Even for those who teach, I just want to say our students, they may be born later than us, but it doesn't mean that they are not intelligent. No, they are. Some of them are brighter than us. So even during online or be used by the university, and then we give them a small token to appreciate them. But you know, the whole university would have paid much more for that to be done. So regardless that we are talking about, and sometimes sacrifice to give something small. I know when I was in the former university, this is not the, and we made a difference, right? Let's look at this one. I think it's not new. This is not the first time that you are seeing this one. Destroying any nation does not require the use of atomic bombs and use of long-range missiles. It only requires lowering the quality of education. I want to stop there and allowing cheating in examinations to take place. I've already covered the cheating part. And now when I look at lowering the quality of education, there are many ways which we do that. When I do institutional evaluations, like in 2017, I was told that there were some lecturers and professors who were resisting to do curricular review, to look at the course content and take some things which are new into the course content. I don't know why. The students from internship were telling them, now they want people who have specialized in agronomy, horticulture, animal husbandry, and not general agriculture degree. And they didn't listen. And those students, as they graduate, they continued to have a difficulty in getting jobs. That's a problem, and we need to address that. What are we doing? What are our relationships like? Students should be part of a creation of new programs and also reviewing curriculum level, whether at faculty level or as an individual. Let's look at this. I may not finish playing it in the interest of time, but just for you to pick something. I earlier on even addressed the issue that for those people who have got solutions for the current COVID-19 situation, they are the people who are going to do well very soon, whether still under COVID-19 or another pandemic that we may have, or any other situation. They are the people who are going to make it.
People don't necessarily look for money. They create solutions, and money will follow them. Larry Page and Sergey Brin went on to find proper solutions to them. One of the major reasons why millions of Africans live below the poverty line is our belief that money for us. How many cups of mustard seeds did Mark Zuckerberg eat that made him an instant billionaire? How many bottles of anointing oil did Jeff Bezos drink that turned him into an overnight owner of Amazon? If all can listen to the voice of God and do the right thing for humanity, God will be happier with us. This is how potential billionaires pray. Dear Lord, Nigeria has an electricity problem. Our roads are death traps. Healthcare system is in shambles. Our youths are sold for slavery because there's no job for them. 25 million Nigerians are disabled. Lord, please baptize me with fresh ideas on how to solve some of these problems and connect me to the right partners to make it happen. Thank you, Lord. God will definitely download creative ideas into their minds. Dear friends, it's time to change our thinking and prayer pattern. Stop looking for shortcuts to the top. Let's start looking for the problems we can solve for humanity.
The Zambian government for 25 years had this company that should have been making and gave it back to the government and said we've paid our debt in full and give them now 0.006% of the proceeds on eating, people ignorant, people dying, high levels of AIDS. And what's the deal? Churches are full, people are praising God, Africans pray all night. Prayer is not in the success equation, but you can still be ignorant.
The university community. The university community is made of its leadership, the vice chancellors, DVCs, and the deans, the directors, the chairpersons, the HODs, the students, the academic support and non-academic staff. All these people, the reason why they are in the institution is they have a contribution to make. There is never justification for you to look down upon any one of them, because you never know that one whom you are looking down upon is a game changer in your institution. When we have our security personnel, they are the ones who give the first impression at the gate. Those who help us with the cleaning, they make our places remain something acceptable for use by us and everybody else in the community. But the most worrisome thing, which also compromise the institution to move forward and compromise the relationships, are the things which are going to see here. The categories of people whom we have in the university, and it's most unfortunate when we have them among the staff. This is a performer. They know what they are doing and the responsibility fully. Somebody comes to assist them, and the things that is discussed in meetings is accomplished. To pass on those things to students. I told you the current education environment and the world that we are living on now, information is ubiquitous. Lecture with them, they start checking this definition which is wrong, which you are giving them, and they will confront you to say, I checked the definition you gave us. It's not the right definition. So just checking what happens in the institutions, you find wrong things are being passed on to students. But when students point it out, they become enemies to the lecturers. No, I don't think it should be that way. The lecturers should also accommodate the students. Some students are actually penalized for saying or doing the right things. I'll jump this one. I'll also jump this one. Allow this video to play is that tension among students and staff. Lecturers don't want to see students with these gadgets. The students are saying, we are not using them for what you think. So most lecturers think that the students are using these gadgets to do WhatsApp, to play around on social media. But it's not always. I just want to ask you one question. Okay, you just assumed and you took that position to victimize the students and to be against all those students who seemed to carry around their internet-related gadgets. But since you are a lecturer, And one of the key things you are expected to do is to research. Why did you not carry out a research to check from the students and to triangulate also to say, so this time around, what are the students using the smartphone for? You will be surprised. You may be surprised, because this is one thing that has strained the relations of students and staff in universities and colleges. So now that we are moving in the digitized world, don't you think it was something also which did not work out well for us? Because more students now are being asked to have those smartphones. And let's listen to this. I don't know if I'm going to finish playing it. I will see how it goes.
It was in these Swiss mountains that the world was first introduced to the phrase the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And it's been a hot topic among academics, politicians, and business leaders ever since. But what exactly does it mean? The term Fourth Industrial Revolution was coined by the founder of the World Economic Forum, a former professor named Klaus Schwab. Schwab wrote a book with that title to describe an era marked by a technological revolution that is in Europe and North America through the early 1800s. It was powered by a major invention, the steam engine. The result? New manufacturing processes, the creation of factories, and a booming textile industry. From the late 1800s, the Second Industrial Revolution was marked by mass production and new industries like steel, oil, and electricity. The light bulb, telephone, and internal combustion engine were a few of the major inventions of this era. In just a few decades, we saw the invention of the semiconductor, personal computer, and the internet. So what separates the Fourth Industrial Revolution million users to adopt the telephone? Instagram signed up 100 million users in just 2 years, while Pokemon Go caught that amount in 1 month. 3D printing is just one example of fast-paced technology in the Fourth Industrial Revolution. The industry has gone from a business idea to big business, with 3D printer shipments expected to increase from just under 200,000 industrial revolution.
But I know some of these things come with expenses, but the major issue, particularly for state and public institutions, is they are waiting for government funding. You know what? What can we do? We heard that this year they've even reduced the grant that they give to state universities. So how are we going to survive? You know, I earn very little. Ladies and gentlemen, no. You can earn more. You can do more in your institution. Look for funding. Do projects. Finish up the research cycles with your students so that research policies and intellectual property policies where you are saying we're going to include our students and we are going to do this research. We are going to come up with softwares and platforms that can be used, and we are going to sell this to other places. We are also going to develop a model of patents, intellectual property in terms of patents and copyrights that we can sell. When we sell, we have a share for the institution, a share for the lecturers involved, a share for the staff who are not necessarily lecturers but who supported the process, and a share for the students. Can you see the kind of support? Support is not for leadership to staff and students. Support is for leadership to staff and students. Support is for staff to students, fellow staff, and the leadership. Support is from students to lecturers and to the leadership. But is it the dimension of support that is engraved in our heads? It may not be, because the way I see this support, it's one where somebody may be even held to ransom. The leadership is saying, if you don't do this, you lose your job. But you and if you can afford to lose me, fair and fine, because of the knowledge and skills that I have, wherever I will go next, I'm going to make a difference. Can't we do that? I think we can. But this is very, very sad. I'm checking Kwesi, and I think I should wrap up. in the next few minutes, no matter what is remaining, right? And then I will move to leave you with strong words of removing the barriers of who are you in society, your age, your position at work, your political affiliation, your whatever people normally, your religious affiliation, and whatever you normally take to consider it as a barrier. It cannot be. This is Malala Yousafzai, 17 years old from Pakistan. She won a Nobel Peace Prize. What did she do? We know it. Now there's an International Malala Day. Throughout, why can't one girl change it? So she fought for the education of the girl child, and she fought for early marriages in Pakistan. And that's why she was shot. But when she was shot, she was rescued and won a Nobel Peace Prize. She says there are two powers in the world. One is the sword and the other is the pen. There's a third power stronger than both. That is women. I am Malala, the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban. I want to be remembered as the girl who was shot. I want to be remembered as, you know, she fought during the World Economic Forum in Davos 2019, and it becomes a problem to tell students and staff to come to work early, for example, and to work hard when you yourself are not doing it. So whatever we are doing, whatever we are telling each other, make sure you are also walking the talk, and that way we can move together. Ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of time, allow me to end here, although there is a lot that I could have said and that I could have done. So what I will do now, I'm giving this time to Kwesi to maybe entertain some questions from our participants. Kwesi.
Thank you very much, Dr. Violet Makuku, for that insightful presentation. I think we can put our hands together for Dr. Makuku. She has really hit on some, I would say, critical issues that takes a lot of people with some. You should be bold and have a chest to mess some of these things, but you really nail them, and thank you so much. And I think it appears most in the comment section. People are just happy because you really hit on very critical and important issues in the universities. But we have only 11 minutes to go, but I would want to give the opportunity to two people who would want to make a verbal to what Dr. Makuku has said. I will give you the opportunity. I can see Victor. Let me grant access. Okay. Yes. So Victor, I can see your hand up. Victor Obonaya, if I got your name right, please make your presentation, but you should be very quick and short. Please go ahead. Okay, let me go to the comment sections and give us some of the few information that people sent. Let me read some of the comment contribution. And so, yeah, this is coming from Joshua, and he says there is no such thing as disabled lecturers. No university can employ such. They are just physically challenged or differently enabled or differently able. Thank you for that. Coming VIP attention to gender and internationalization. I love the University of Nairobi's idea of corruption reporting office and Osnabrück idea of office on gender issues. Thank you so much. Let me read this one coming from Janayat, and she said it's hard time African higher education pay attention to gender and internationalization. I think is the same message that someone has also rear code. Thanks to Dr. Makuku for dealing with seemingly extraneous but extremely important issues, that is staff and student relationships in universities. Thank you very much for that comment also. Achieving quality assurance is a joint responsibility amongst all stakeholders. However, there will be the challenge of harmonizing interests of these stakeholders, bottom-top leadership issues. You are right. This is come from Margaret Motori. I'm very, it's unfortunate, very unfortunate that soliciting for money to change marks is happening. I'm not getting that too clearly. This has come from Elizabeth. Staff relationship, especially in service areas such as student finance, accommodation, admissions, health unit is always so intolerable. Institutions that comment, the personal morality, integrity, and discipline are all key to quality assurance in higher education. Thank you very much for that comment also. This is coming from Helen, and Helen is saying that many things influence relationship between staff and students, in those things have to be dealt with for quality assurance to be attained. I agree with you. Dr. Makuku, this is coming for you. This is an excellent teacher. The way you have related QA with real life experiences within and outside HEI is commendable. Thank you so much, Dr. Makuku. This is also, you are very right, Dr. Makuku. Insufficient government funding makes output quality poor, yet universities rely on government funding. With COVID, most governments will be more stretched and likely forced down on budget as universities preparing and reorganizing themselves to see how to fill the gap. Funding organizations like UFB are also trying to mobilize resources, but this will still not be sufficient. Universities must reinvent and do more too on their own to push themselves forward. Thank you. And then we can go back to our participant who would want to make a verbal quiz. This passes for an inaugural lecture. You are excellent. Thank you for that comment. Let me take the last. This is fantastic presentation, Dr. Makuku. Very well done. Can I call you sister, please? Yes, I think she wants to be called Sister Violet. You are free to call her like that. I think these are the great comments coming in. I may not be able to read all because of time. I have not seen any critical question being asked, but I can see hands up. Unfortunately, I'm struggling to give people the right to ask their questions. Yes. Okay, I'm through now. Okay, so Charles, you can ask your question. I've enabled. Hello.
I was so impressed with the presentation of Dr. Makuku.
Great.
It's an eye opener to all of us that we have to think, outside the box. We have to, look inwards. For instance, those staff among us and some of the students we have been looking down on, we can really tap from them. We can really tap from them and make something out of them. We can really tap from them, both from the disabled and even those that are normal. In a very good university setting, so many people are labeled never do well. So this topic has now brought us to limelight of what we can get from those people we think that they are nothing. I am Professor Uju Clara Omo, the Director of Quality Assurance, University of Nigeria. I'm presently representing my Vice Charles Arinze Chukwuigwe. And
thank you. Thank you very much. But today we are all learning one thing that we've gone past using the word disabled students. We are using some new terminologies like differently able, and so let us all learn that, so that as we go back to our universities, we put in some of these new terms that are coming up. So our students are no more disabled; they are either we just refer to them as students who are differently able. Thank you very much for that brief comment. Can we have Temitope? Temi, I have enabled your microphone. You can have the floor.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you quickly.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so thank you very much. It has been a highly enlightening work that you have done today. I want to just reiterate one point that you raised, and that is the point of volunteering. Many of us do our researches and keep. Our researches most of the time do not really get down to the people it should get to. And this is caused by, the propensity for us to start looking for who will pay for the services we are going to incur before we take it to the community. I think lecturers should begin to think otherwise now, because those things we write and keep under our shelves can make a lot of difference in this society, beginning from the communities.
Thank you.
These people cannot reach you. They cannot look for you. You are the one to look for them and tell them even things they do not know about themselves. They are waiting. If we want a change in the society, we must begin with these people, about whom we write always, they do not reach. So that is just one. Another area that I agree with you is the relationship between students and staff, although that is becoming very, very, very dangerous now, especially because of the sexual harassment thing and all that. Indeed, in Nigeria, a law has just been enacted, to that extent, to cater for such relationships.
Okay, tell me, you have just a few seconds.
Hello?
You have a few seconds, please, so that others can make their contribution.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that, nevertheless, in spite of all these, challenges, we must look for a way that we can develop a constructive relationship with our students, quality relationships that can produce something that can effect positive changes in the society. I have more, but I know you won't give me time.
Thank you very much. All right, Toby.
University.
Yes.
My question is touching on some of the comments from the presenter. I quite appreciate the presentation. It's quite enlightening. But here is my question. Do we go for a market model of education? How do we balance that with the idea that education is a public good? If I heard you very correctly, you made mention of we begin to adopt business model. To what extent can we adopt business model? That is, in policy-wise, to what extent can we allow the neoliberal market orthodoxy to become the driving policy of higher education? How do we balance that with the notion that education...
Thank you very much, sir.
I got
Thank you and God bless.
Can I just respond?
Thank you very much. Dr. Akuku, please hold on.
Yes.
You will answer this question as part of the concluding statement. Let's see something.
Yes.
Grace, Toby, can you ask your question? Toby, yes. Chris, Toby, or Kolo, you can go ahead. I've Yes.
Thank you very much, Kwesi. I applaud
Yeah.
Dr. Maputo for the excellent presentation. I just want to make a comment on the quality assurance as well as quality content as well. We realize that most of our students, what they get now is kind of obsolete, and the market doesn't really need the degrees anymore, the certificates anymore. So in as much as we're trying to make sure that whatever we're delivering to them has a form of quality, but I think we have to start taking proactive actions to improve ourselves as educators, as lecturers, to avail ourselves with current and modern form of education and content, such as digital skills. And I also want to call attention of the technical team. In as much as this is a quality assurance talk, I think we can also leverage some of the free webinars offered by this like Zoom and Adobe Connect and the rest of them. Maybe we can also join in their live trainings so that we can avoid what happened yesterday with the room being open for others to join in. So that's just my own input. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Dr. Makuku, I think you can just respond and then give your concluding statement. It is, I think we are already 5 minutes past time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kwesi. Thank you all for your contributions and your comments. First of all, may I appreciate the person who talked about correcting us on the issue of disabled, what I have taken note, and it's always a learning curve, and we welcome such. And then I just want to respond to the question on running businesses. No. You see, that's the other thing that we should do with these workshops, that, our perceptions and understanding of things is very different. Immediately, somebody hears that we need to run universities in a business model. You will agree with me that most people will say, yeah, so we need to charge with a lot of profit, charge students. So, no. That is not the nature of business model which I'm talking about. I think in my presentation, I also illustrated very, very well that from what we have within the institution, what can we use to get third stream income? For example, if we are well organized, we can construct hostels. Those hostels can give us money. The money we can have it maybe from students and staff. We make sure we have a policy to guide the fairness of benefit of resources. Then we can also leverage on our innovations and creativity. We can also have awards for students and staff who are highly innovative. And then we have competitions along those lines. So once we get their ideas and innovations, we take them to the next level of intellectual property, where we can now develop patents. Very simple things. One time I was traveling in a plane and I saw somebody with a phone stand. I said, how much did you buy that for? He says $15. And I said, so what is it? He says, I don't want to hold my phone while he's traveling in a plane. So I put it there and I watch everything I want. Just the small things. Other people are developing door pushers that you don't handle the door, but you simply... And we make money because people don't want to handle door handles. I can give too many examples. So let's use our internal capacities and competitive advantages. We sell out. And then the other one is on what Sir Okolo said. Thank you, Sir Okolo, for helping us yesterday. That was good of you and many others who have helped us in different ways. We have a lecturer and staff development. Like I said, some do not even have the basic training. But now I said where we are going, where our students are going to be employed, even as teachers, they need that. the digital skills. So what are we going to do as institutions? We can cover that gap. But the most important thing I want to say before I say I just say bye-bye is that we need to do curricular review. Let's look at the course content. Let's look at the subjects and then clean up everything so that we remain relevant with the programs that we are giving. We need to digitize the labs, digitize whatever we are doing so that students get used to using those things. But how can we do it when ourselves we are not savvy in terms of digitization? So teacher training, student training, then acquisition of those things that we need to use in order to transform our students and their training so that they become relevant. Thank you so much. There are people who gave us wrong email addresses. You won't receive anything from us. There's a Telegram group, and I've sent, you can take my WhatsApp number. We sent you the link to the Telegram group so that we will give you in the last minute what is prevailing. And I think the group has got ground rules that it's only AAU quality assurance webinars. No jokes, no what, nothing except things to do with this. And so it's not overwhelmed because we already belong to other groups. I want to thank you. I want to thank Kwesi and the technical team. I want to thank the AAU for granting us also this opportunity to try and come up with these innovations to help. And those who are having challenges with payment is being resolved. But those who are in Ghana, you can use our bank details. Once again, please, let's make a date for next week. Next week is important for everybody, including the national accreditation bodies, including the vice chancellors, deans, and everyone else, because we want to talk about the internal quality assurance, external quality assurance, and how they link up in order to have the quality culture in the institutions. So this is another core of quality assurance where we can understand the operations where most of us have been excluded from. We don't know what is happening. We just hear a program has been accredited, but only 2 or 3 people take part when a number of people could have contributed to make things better. Till next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Dr. Makuku. Yes. Thank you so much. We know if you give me the time.
Can I thank Naija? Please, Ankoma, all the time I don't mention your name and I regret. Thank you, Ankoma, for all the assistance as always.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paulette Makuku. I think it's been an excellent moment spent with you today. And then the presentation has been wonderful. I know a lot of us may have asked a lot of questions or wanted opportunity to ask questions which you were not given. Kindly put your comment in the chat session, and I'm sure next week you have the opportunity to ask such questions as well. Visit the AAU website, www.aau.org. There are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of resources that AAU is offering during the COVID pandemic. There are a lot of trainings. So tomorrow, for example, we bring you faculty online modular training. How do you become an excellent and efficient lecturer in the online space? And that will also come to you at exactly 12 o'clock GMT. If you would want to be part of that, you can just send us your email. We'll give you the link as well. Dr. Makuku's number, if you want to have a conversation with her, chat platform so that you can send her a private message if you want to do so. So on behalf of the technical team and then the Secretary General, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. We continually encourage you to pay your subscriptions so that AAU will be able to bring you excellent presentation as well. Have a good day, and together let us transform African higher education. My name is Kwesi Sam, and we are so much appreciative of your time. Stay blessed. Have a day.
Thank you for all.
You can give them a short time to copy the WhatsApp number. Then you can close later. Otherwise, bye
Bye bye.
Bye. Have a nice time.
Bye bye.
Good appetite. Bye.
Jose Gaetano from Mozambique.
Bye bye from Uganda.
Bye
How are you?
Bye.
It's a pleasure.
Jeff, how are you?
Bye bye.
We say in Portuguese.
Somalia. How are you? Thank you. Bye bye. Same time. Next. How are you?
Thank you.
How are you, Rosemary? Ruthie.
Doctor, thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. How are you? I'm Mary Rose.
Hello.
Bye bye.
Hello.
How are you? Bye. Bye bye. Peace is there. Cedric Ama Eke.
Thank you. Bye. Kwaherini.
Bye, Africa.
Thank you. Bye.
Josephine. Moyo, Gina, Samuel, Akosle,
WhatsApp number once more, please. The WhatsApp number.
Yes.
It is in chat. It is in chat.
Yes. 2 6 3 9798.
Very active
Okay. I put it. I'm sharing. Mildred, University of Zambia. How are you? Good to hear from you. Hello. Thank you. Same time next week, every week.
Performance, actually.
And because it was very disturbing. The light has gone. Now we are finished. I'm going. Let me get what I needed. What.org.
Yes, I'm leaving because I have other responsibilities also to take care of. So till every Tuesday, same time, we meet. Thank you.
Oh.